Welcome to this explainer. Look, we are right in the middle of a massive, fundamental shift in how we navigate the digital world. For decades, you know the drill. Our search behavior was super simple. Type a few keywords into a search bar, hit enter, and scroll through a list of 10 blue links. But today, that behavior is being completely rewired by artificial intelligence. We're moving from a world of searching for options to a world of demanding instant, synthesized answers. And for anyone creating content, building a brand, or just trying to stay visible online, this shift has served up a brand new alphabet soup of marketing disciplines: SEO, AEO, and GEO. Today, we're going to untangle exactly what these mean, why they actually matter, and how you can master them.
To understand the sheer urgency here, just think about this shocking stat for a second. 34.5%. Based on recent data we've analyzed, the rollout of AI overviews slashed click-through rates for top-ranking Google content by 34.5% in just a single year. I mean, that is a massive, immediate hit to traditional search visibility. The old playbook of purely relying on clicks from a list of links, it's just not going to cut it anymore if you want to sustain your digital presence.
Okay, let's dive into this. Here is our roadmap. First, decoding SEO, AEO, and GEO. Second, how the tactics differ. Third, the Princeton GEO playbook. And finally, building an integrated strategy.
Let's jump right into Section 1, decoding SEO, AEO, and GEO using the library framework.
So, the absolute best way to wrap your head around these three distinct disciplines is to picture the entire internet as a massive global library. Fortunately, without the overdue book fines, right? First up, we have SEO, or search engine optimization. In our library framework, SEO is all about optimizing the library shelf. It's your foundational access layer. Traditional SEO focuses entirely on making sure your book is cataloged correctly, sitting on the right shelf, and getting highly recommended when someone's browsing the aisles. The primary goal here is ranking in those traditional blue links to drive human clicks back to your own web domain. You essentially want the user to pick up the whole book and read it on your turf.
Next, we move to AEO, or Answer Engine Optimization. Think of this as the extraction layer. If SEO is the library shelf, AEO is crafting the perfect index card. Answer engines, so we're talking Google's featured snippets, people also ask boxes, or voice assistants like Siri and Alexa, they don't want to hand the user a whole 300-page book. They want to extract a short, highly structured, direct answer that they can present right then and there. Your goal here is to win zero-click visibility. You're providing the exact, self-contained answer a machine can literally just pull out without the user ever needing to click through to your actual site.
And finally, we have the newest frontier, GEO, or Generative Engine Optimization. This is the synthesis layer. Going back to our library analogy, imagine the AI is now a research assistant tasked with writing a brand new essay. Systems like ChatGPT, Perplexity, or Gemini, they read multiple books, they resolve conflicting information, and they synthesize a completely original conversational response. So GEO is the practice of ensuring these AI models evaluate your content as credible and authoritative, so they ultimately select, recommend, and cite your brand as a trusted source in that new essay.
Section 2. How the tactics differ. Comparing the goals.
Now, what's really interesting about this breakdown is how clearly the signals shift depending on what you're optimizing for, because the ultimate goal fundamentally shapes your day-to-day work. For SEO, the currency has traditionally been backlinks, right? External votes of confidence to drive traffic. But look at AEO. The signal shifts to schema markup and precise Q&A formatting so a machine can easily extract your facts for that zero-click visibility. And then with GEO, the whole game changes entirely. AI models aren't just counting links, they are looking for topical depth, conceptual brand authority, and expert consensus. The main metric of success isn't just clicks anymore, it's citation frequency.
And, this shift in signals perfectly mirrors the shift we're seeing in user behavior. Traditional search intent, the stuff SEO targets, is often pretty fragmented. Users type in short, punchy keywords like best running shoes. But AI search intent, which AEO and GEO serve, well, that mirrors natural conversation. Users are asking these long-tail, complex questions like, what are the best running shoes for marathon training if I have flat feet? That requires a synthesized, comprehensive answer, not just a list of product pages.
Section 3. The Princeton GEO playbook and the data on AI visibility.
Now, knowing that AI requires synthesized answers is great, but how do we actually get chosen? Well, researchers from Princeton and Georgia Tech tested 10,000 different queries to prove exactly what gets cited. They developed a playbook of formatting shifts that basically feed an AI exactly what it's hungry for. To win a GEO, you need to add named, verifiable citations directly into your text. You need to embed specific, hard statistics rather than just making vague claims. You really should include fully attributed expert quotes. You absolutely must maintain an authoritative declarative tone, so cutting out weak words like might or perhaps. And finally, you've got to define complex jargon with plain language analogies.
Let's look at the hard data from that Princeton study, because honestly, the results are undeniable. By simply referencing credible, verifiable sources in your content, they saw a massive 40% boost in AI citation rates. Replacing vague language with specific, hard statistics, that resulted in a 37% uplift. And including direct, fully attributed expert quotes gave a 30% gain. It makes total sense because AI models use retrieval-augmented generation. They act like a researcher scanning for evidence. If your content is packed with hard stats and real quotes, the AI treats it as pre-vetted, high-credibility evidence that is actually worth servicing.
There's a great quote from Rand Fishkin that really hits the nail on the head regarding this new landscape. He notes, "The brands winning in generative search aren't the ones with the most backlinks. They're the ones AI can quote without second-guessing the source." It's so true. Trust, credibility, and extractability now completely outrank brute force link building when it comes to being featured in an AI response.
Let's move to our final section, Section 4, and see how this builds into an integrated strategy by layering SEO, AEO, and GEO.
A massive mistake marketers make is treating these three disciplines as completely separate, competing silos. They're really not. They are complementary layers that build upon one another to create total search visibility. Notice how this works. Step 1 is still your SEO foundation. You still need technical health, fast page speed, and a crawlable site architecture. If an AI bot literally cannot access your page, nothing else matters, right? Then, step 2 layers on AEO. You format that accessible content with clear schema markup, Q&A sections, and direct, snappy 50-word answer paragraphs. Finally, step 3 is the GEO layer. You inject that structurally perfect content with original data, expert quotes, and deep topical authority so the AI actually selects it for synthesis.
So the crucial point is this. We are no longer just competing for a spot in a list of 10 blue links. In a generative AI-driven landscape, being synthesized and cited as a trusted source inside a conversational answer is the ultimate victory. Citation truly is the new ranking #1. I want to leave you with a final provocative thought to chew on as you review your digital strategy. If AI answers the user's question perfectly, directly in the chat interface, without a single click ever happening, is your brand still part of the conversation? If you haven't optimized for AEO and GEO, the answer is probably no. But by integrating these new tactics, you can absolutely ensure your brand remains the authoritative voice, no matter how this wild search landscape evolves. Thanks for joining me for this explainer, and I highly encourage you to start adding those hard stats and expert quotes to your content today.